Good day, I'm Brian Nash from How We Got Here Genealogy, and these are the two most common questions, or one might even call them complaints, that viewers have expressed about DNA test ethnicity estimates. Well, the two after the main complaint, that the results aren't what you were expecting, and since I really can't answer that question because it's different for everybody, let's tackle the next two. Number one, or is it number two? Well, either way, it is that I uploaded my DNA last year, and now they've updated and I have completely different results. Okay, so look at my original MyHeritage results from their version 0.95 of their algorithm. Now, if you look, you'll see my current results. You'll notice it's not in just percentages, but also in the ethnicities that actually themselves changed. This is because MyHeritage has updated their research panels.
Okay, wait a minute. I guess I should explain what research panels. To put it simply, it is the sample group representing certain ethnicities that these companies use to compare your DNA with. They are comprised of people who have deep historic roots in that ethnic community and who are representative of it. They generate certain DNA markers based on these groups and are comparing your DNA to determine the ethnicities that make up your report. With research panels, is one of the places where size really does matter, at least in terms of number. First, having more different groups matters, as it will give you more potential ethnicities to match. And secondly, the number of people in each group matters because it makes a difference of the accuracy. Think about it. If they have a group of only 10 people representing an ethnicity, they are basing everything on just those 10 people. So you can see how if they had a group of several hundred, it would be more representative ethnicity and hopefully therefore more accurate. Okay, back to me talking about my recent results.
When they updated their panels, they were able to split some up, such as the Irish, Scottish, and Welsh are now split into two separate groups, Irish and then Scottish and Welsh. Maybe in their next update they'll split out the Welsh. Also, MyHeritage, from their own documentation, mentioned they added many more other Western European groups, which has allowed them to revise and edit some of their estimates to be more representative of these new groups. Okay, the second, or again, is it the third complaint, is similar in nature, and it is that I've done my test at more than one company. I have a different results from all of them. So I did tests at Ancestry and Family Tree DNA. So again, you'll see there's differences, but it simply goes back to those reference panels and how they analyze your DNA. Each company has their own reference panels. Some Family Tree DNA, for instance, have many small reference panels. This often results in showing more ethnicities, but this doesn't mean that they're more correct, just that parts of your DNA match to parts of the standard that they are using for the specific ethnicity. The second factor being, besides having different reference panels, each company tests different parts of your DNA. Now you're asking, what do you mean, Brian? Well, a person's genome contains about 4 to 5 million single nucleotide polymorphisms, SNPs or SNPs. And these are the most common type of genetic variation in human. Scientists have found more than 600 million SNPs in populations around the world. And you can imagine it would be expensive to test every SNP against every sample population. So all the major companies analyze hundreds of thousands of SNPs to get a detailed picture of a person's genetic makeup. The SNPs analyzed are primarily from the autosomal chromosomes, which are not sex-linked, which this just means that it allows for broader family tree comparisons. That means they're not the ones that have X or Y. They do have separate tests for those as well. If you're into that, it will give you more deeper. But we're just going to talk about autosomal because that's what most people do. So by marrying an individual's SNP profile to their research panels, they give ethnicity estimates, but more importantly, they compare them to a large database of other users, and these are potential relatives that can be identified and you can contact to help you work on your family tree and break down brick walls. So each company chooses what SNPs they actually use for comparison, why they choose the ones they do. It's above my level of knowledge, really, but I would assume that they are what they feel are the most useful in getting accurate ethnicity estimates and matches. Okay, still don't understand? Maybe this short sci-fi fantasy movie I made will make it clearer. So let's stretch our imaginations a little and pretend you are in this sci fi movie. To set the stage, it is sometime in the future. The governments of Earth have unified and you have recently been hired by United Federation of Earth. Don't be fooled though, humans are just used by government to do menial bureaucratic work. While in theory the humans are in charge, it is really the artificial intelligence robots who run things. You've been sent to an outpost on the moon where alien refugees have come, and your job is to identify what planet they came from originally. There are 4 planets where these aliens came from, and the aliens from each planet really they kind of look very similar. So Earth has treaties with these 4 planets where the other planets will pay Earth to take in these refugees, but since they had been breeding for centuries in their previous planets, they don't really want to pay 100% for everybody if they're not really from their planet. So our job is to figure out where everybody comes from and identify what planet owes what percentage of the funds for that alien. So this story picks up after your training, which consists of having been given a book on how to identify each alien race. Well, it's not really a book. It just looks like a book, but in truth, most of it is just boring legalese and a history of the planet, war, and the eventual peace. The part you need to do your job is just really a chart on 1 page that you can use to help determine rate the species. Did I mention the aliens all look similarly? Basically, you're looking at 3 features and using that to make your determination of race so the robots can figure out what to charge each planet. Okay, so now you're off to the moon, ready to identify your first alien. Her name is Ira Betswadi Coed.
All right, settle down, you beautiful extraterrestrials. Now, as I said, all unregistered life forms must report to Alien Processing Unit 7 for identification and classification. Don't worry, it's a simple procedure. Just a few visual scans, a quick probe. Nothing to be alarmed about. Unless you're Valorian, of course. You know these humans are anxious to avenge the way you used to probe their ancestors back in the 20th century. Honestly, you'd think after 2 centuries of galactic cooperation they'd understand the importance of proper documentation. But you, my earthbound compadres, you understand the need for security, right? In this ever-expanding universe, with new species popping up every other Tuesday, keeping your digital footprint safe is more important than ever. That's why I'm here to talk to you about the Galactic Net Guardian, VPN. Tired of laggy connections across the asteroid belt? Worried about your personal data falling into the wrong tentacle? Galactic Net Guardian VPN is your ultimate solution for secure and lightning-fast browsing across the solar system and beyond. With our patented quantum encryption technology, your data is shielded from even the most sophisticated AI surveillance. We bypass those pesky lunar administration firewalls, giving you unrestricted access to all the galactic news, entertainment, and communication you crave. Galactic Net Guardian VPN, protecting your digital identity 1 light year at a time. Visit galacticnetguardian.com today and use code LUNA 200 for a 200% discount on your first year of service. That's galacticnetguardian.com, code LUNA 200. Now, back to processing those new arrivals. Don't forget, Alien Processing Unit 7, and tell 'em Al sent ya.
Welcome to the intermission. So, this is really a simplified explanation of how a DNA company determines ethnicity, except they're using the SNPs that we talked about earlier, not physical characteristics. With Ira Betswadi Coed, she was a mix of 3 alien species, and she had 2 out of the 3 criteria for each one. So you determine that she's 33.3% Xylosian, 33.3% Kalian, and 33.3% Nixian. So if you're wondering where I came up with all the names here, thank you, Google Gemini. Okay, so after a year, you get a memo from the AI overlords that there are now 2 more planets the aliens could be from, and they've added 3 more additional criteria to use to analyze. So you need to get all your original aliens back to reevaluate to make sure that your simple human brain can make no mistakes. They will destroy your previous book and provide you with a new one. You contact Ira Betswadi Coed, get her back, and reevaluate. So back to our feature presentation. Welcome to the second intermission. So now we've determined that Ira has 5 of the 6 traits of Xylosians, 1 of the 6 traits of Aphelians, 3 of the 6 traits of Kalians, 2 of the 6 traits of Nixians, 2 of the 6 traits of Elysians, and 3 of the 6 traits of Brenninusians. Yes, thank you, Google Gemini, for these wonderful names. So when we enter that into the algorithm, she has a total of 16 matching traits. By figuring out percentage of each matching trait of those 16, it was determined, because that's the way our algorithm works, is that she's 31.25% Xylosians, 6.25% Aphelians, 18.75% Kalian, 12.5% Nixian, and 12.5% Elysians, and 18.75 Brenninusian. So this second scenario actually represents that first question that people have when a DNA company updates their data. Our alien Ira is still the same alien. She still has the same traits. They didn't change. But there was new information to base the decision upon. So new conclusions were reached. Hey, so what happened there in the end? Well, that's our second question. Good old Billy, who's a good friend of mine, who lives on Mars, he determined by his data that she has four of the six traits of Xylosians, two of the six traits of Aphelians, three of the six traits of Kaleians, one of the six traits of Nixians, two of the six traits of Elysians, and three of the six traits of Bernusians. So that means she's 26.67% Xylosian, 13.3% Aphelian, 20% Kaolian, 6.67% Nixian, 13.3% Elysians, and 20% Bernusian. So this scenario represents when two DNA companies use different data and different models to make their determination. So what percentage of each species is she really? We might never know with any certainty unless we actually were able to research and find her actual family tree. Just like when you get your DNA ethnicity results, it's not really important what they say. It's just kind of interesting. And they are getting more accurate as they develop better models and better research panels. But you're never going to know with any certainty how you got here unless you actually do your research yourself. So if you want to get a start on your researching your family tree, I recommend you start with this video here. Yeah, that one there. So until next time, keep searching for your ancestors.